comes, it's not going to be that we cut out everything from before and we just start something fresh. It's really going to have to go into the galus, into the things, the darkness, the concealment. And over there, you basically have to reveal that the gula comes from that place. So we talked about, how does that relate to such high levels of when Mashiach comes? We explained last time that specifically it has to come from that place because the aspect of the Geula comes from Galus. It has to be connected to the Galus. Okay, now we're going to see some examples this week. What that means. Why does the Geula have to be directly connected to the Galus? Okay.
But I wanted to teach you how to edit videos.
Just mute you here. Mute. Okay, I just have to mute you there, making some noises. Okay. And basically, we're going to discuss what happens, what we have to do in order to connect to the full expression of the Geula. Okay, so basically, we're starting. So, Parsha Emor. So, it says basically the word Geula has the word Gola in it, as we said, just an additional Aleph. And this is explaining a few things, that the Geula of all things of Galus, okay, that means doesn't negate what we do in Galus, rather, it includes everything that happened in the Galus, but with adding an Aleph to it. Okay, so the first thing you have to do, we're going to say there's three levels. It's like a three process. That through this process, you're able to extend it all the way to Geula. Okay, the first thing is, look at the Galus that you're in. Look at all the limitations that you have. You have to put the Aleph inside of it. You have to put a Shem inside of that thing. Okay? And what does that mean? You have to see how is he conducting himself in the Galus that I'm in. Okay, now just as a side note, we have in Parsha Emor in the Likutei Torah from the Alter Rebbe on the Parsha. So it actually goes a little bit discussing these things. And it says, where in Parsha Emor it says that Hashem said, I became holy amongst the Jewish people. And it says, I am Hashem, I didn't change. Okay, why didn't Hashem change? Because he's Kadosh. Kadosh means that he's holy, but holy means that it's removed from the worlds. Why? We have a different experience, okay? We have our soul that gets enclosed in your body, and then it basically gets divided in accordance with your body, which basically means the way you experience your soul is through your body's experience of it. You have a specific way, according to you, that you experience it. Okay, in general, you have three parts. You have the head, you have the body, and you have the feet. Okay, which basically, it can mean the literal aspect, but it could also mean the head is the intellect, the body is the emotions, and the feet is like the level of action. Okay, so we're going to see the kind of related to what it's saying in the Dvar Malchus, because the Dvar Malchus is a continuation. It's really from Likutei Torah to the edited Mamarim on Likutei Torah. And from there it goes into the Dvar Malchus. It's like interesting. So you have to kind of connect it in order to see what's going on. So I am Hashem, I didn't change because I, Hashem, is beyond enclosing into the world. And when your soul is a part of Hashem, but it goes into the body, so all of a sudden it's like a new experience. That it says that you have to become holy like God. Okay, we're going to discuss what that is. Now, in the way that we are created, there's a lot of differences on how we are. Okay, and inside of that, there's godliness that's enclosed in it. Okay, but that's only the godliness that is enclosed in the world. Okay. Now, what does that mean? Hashem himself is removed and above the world, and whatever life force that comes down into the world, the main life force is actually a life force that's transcending the world. Okay, it doesn't get enclosed in it, and whatever gets enclosed is just a ray of a ray. Okay, we're going to see how this is related soon, and that what does it mean kadosh? It means removed, which basically means that Hashem is able to give life to the world by not enclosing it, but by being removed from the world. Okay, now Hashem has a way to draw down this light, okay, that it reaches us, and it's called hairs. Okay, which basically means, like for example, the hair of a Nazir is holy. Okay, because it's getting the sovev, so to speak, this transcending light through the hairs. Okay, now it goes on and explains all these different things. So what comes out of it is that we're gonna see now lemaise for an action, like what comes out of this explanation of what we're supposed to do. So we have the three levels. The first level is you have to look at the galus that you're in, and you have to first bring Hashem into that place. It's literally like you're doing with the kavana in your mind. You have to say, where is Hashem in this thing that's concealed? How is he running this show? How is he allowing this thing to happen? Okay? So where is Hashem in that thing? That's so now when people do that, people feel like they finally connected everything together, right? So they reach the ultimate level, they got it down. So he says, no, it's really just level number one, is where you find Hashem in the thing. Now the second thing is the revelation of the Geula actually comes through what you did in the Galus. Okay, as we explained, it's the same letters, just one added aleph. Okay, now, okay, that's number one. So the nuance of the Geula, as we said, we see in the first Geula, which is when we left Mitzrayim. Okay, what happened when we left Mitzrayim? The following happened. All the Jewish people left Mitzrayim, and the young, the old, and our sons, our daughters, with all of the things that we had. As it says, their gold and silver was with them. And they took everything, okay, from the Egyptians. As it says, Vishalu, Mitzrayim, Klei Kesef, Klei Zahav, Bismalot, Vinatzlu, Rokino Mitzrayim. We basically took everything from the Egyptians until we emptied it out. We said it was so empty, it was like water without any fish. Like there's literally nothing left in Mitzrayim. Okay? So there's actually an interesting thing. What it says is that since Egypt was the idea that we learned from leaving Egypt to the rest to what's happening now, okay, that we left with immense amount of wealth. Right? We said silver, gold, clothes, and it basically, how did it become ours? So Hashem told us to basically ask them for these things, and they lent it to us, and then we basically took it. But there was also another point where the Egyptians themselves, they were basically saying they transformed to actually want to give it to us. They're like, here you go, take this, take that. Okay, so it was like, so really what it explains in the Psukim is that it says that Avraham Avinu, God told him that your children will go down to Egypt and they're going to leave with a very big wealth. So it says so that means that was the actual promise to begin with. Okay, what does that mean? It wasn't just leaving Egypt, but Egypt itself was actually redeemed. Okay, meaning Hashem went into Egypt. The Aleph went into Egypt. Then all the matters of exile, okay, through Hashem and giving them to the Egyptians, so that the Jewish people will refine them and they're going to take everything out of Egypt. Okay? As it says that Hashem gave grace in the eyes of the Egyptians, and then they lent the Jewish people all those things. And then it says, Af mashallah ayu shoalim mehem ayu notlim. It says, whatever the Egyptians did not lend them, they would want to give to the Jewish people anyways, because they had this special grace, which basically means that I was against their will of the Jewish people, which basically means the Egyptians themselves forced the Jewish people to take their stuff. So now how does that happen? How does the Galus transform to such a level that the thing that seems like the biggest klipa, right, Egyptians, they're going to turn around and be like, we want to give fully everything to you. Okay? Now, so what caused the Egyptians to want to give everything they had, which is the opposite of a person's nature? Second thing is, it says that the Jewish people were commanded to borrow, okay, and not the Egyptians. The third thing is after Hashem broke Egypt through the 10 plagues, why all of a sudden over here, Hagisha Shel Mitzrayim, the way that the Egyptians responded is that God gave them grace in their eyes, and then they borrowed it, okay, and not through the fact that Hashem basically had to broke them. Meaning, if Hashem breaks the galus by showing wonders like we see now, we had all these rockets in Israel, and unfortunately some people died, but there was a lot of miracles. So you say, wouldn't that be enough? Like Hashem could break a person, saying no, that's not enough to transform it as we see. Things are not transformed through Hashem breaking a nation, even with miracles. Rather, it has to be that Hashem gives the Jewish people grace, and then they're going to actually want to give us everything. Okay, why is it the case? Okay, so Geula means an elevation of Mitzrayim, that the exile of Mitzrayim, basically, by recognizing that Hashem is the master of the world, and then the Egyptians, that they were very wise. They were able to understand and feel that the truth is Ani Havaya, right? Because basically Paro didn't know Yud Kei Vav Kei, he only knew Shem Elokim. So then when Hashem graced us, then all of a sudden Paro was all the Egyptians were able to even recognize the aspect of Havaya. And then it had to be that we see in actuality that it didn't happen through against the will of the Egyptians, but rather in accordance with their will, in a way that they lent it to us, by Hashem giving us grace, okay? That to the point that whatever we did not ask to borrow, they would give it to us with their own will, okay? So we see basically what's the second aspect here, that when you take the gola and you put an aleph into it, that through going into Egypt, okay, which basically means that, God puts you in a specific body and you have specific limitations and you have the personal exile that you're in. Then and it's basically you're in servitude and you're in pain in Egypt, right? Nif'ala aliyat, this causes an elevation of the Gula of Mitzrayim, to the point that you leave with a very big amount of wealth, okay? And that if we didn't go down to Egypt, we wouldn't be able to receive and elevate all of the silver and all the gold in Mitzrayim, okay? So how does that work? We're going to see. Now, so we have this concept when we left Egypt, so we have it also now. Okay, as it says, just like you left Egypt, I will show you wonders. Okay, so now we're going to see. Hold on, someone wants to join the share. I'm going to see what's going on here. Oh, okay. So basically, what is the wonders that we're going to see now? So number one, we have to elevate all of the matters of the exile by first showing that there's a Hashem inside of it, and through this avoda in the gola, we get to the gula. Okay, but the question is the following: by having the geula from Mitzrayim, redemption of Mitzrayim, it caused the revelation of the Alufa Sh'olam in Mitzrayim, that the Egyptians were able to know that I am Hashem. Okay, which is the reason of the Makos, that Hashem is the one who controls the world. Even higher things were caused, that it says Hashem, master of the world, he revealed himself and then basically redeemed them. Which to bring you to the ultimate intention of Matan Torah, that it says when we left Egypt to serve God on this mountain, which is the revelation of Anochi Hashem Elokecha, I am God, your God, who took you out of Egypt. Then we spoke to Hashem face to face, Okay, that's higher than even the revelation of Alufa Sha'olam. How Hashem is the one who creates and runs the world. Okay, that the Torah is higher than the world. Okay, so what the question is the fall. Basically, I'm going to explain the question a little bit more clearly. Okay. Basically, when we were in Egypt, we're able to recognize that there's a Hashem. Okay, as it says, and to the point the Egyptians themselves knew that there was a Hashem. Okay, furthermore, Hashem himself revealed himself to the Jewish people in Egypt. Right, whoever put on the doorpost the blood, then God took him out by himself. Now, if we're going to say that leaving Egypt was really to receive the Torah, okay, which is basically a higher revelation of God, okay, so that's pretty high level. Now, if we're talking about the ultimate Geula, there's going to be a revelation of godliness that's higher than even the creation of the world, and then there's going to be a Chiddush in the world. Basically, when Mashiach comes, it's going to be even more than what we had in Egypt. Why? Because it says when Mashiach comes, it says it's going to be a Shamayim Chadashim ve'eretz Chadashah. There's going to be a new heavens and new earth. Basically, it means that the people are going to live in such a level of divine providence that really there's going to be it's like a new heaven and a new earth that's under you. It's completely beyond nature. That there's a big revelation of godliness of God's essence that's going to be revealed in the world. And then furthermore, on top of that, there's going to be a revelation of the Torah, a new Torah, as it says, Torah Chadasha Me'iti Tetzeh, a new Torah will come out. Now, there's going to be so many things that are new that the whole world is just going to want to learn Torah all day, and there's not going to be anything else, basically. So now, how does this show in the aspect of Geula by adding an Aleph? Basically, telling me, we're going to learn from Egypt all the things that we need to know now. What's going to happen now is all these revelations are going to happen. The first thing is we're going to see that Hashem was in everything. The second thing, we're going to see this kind of new world emerge where this even higher than the Torah in a way. And then the third thing is the highest level is we're going to see within the Torah, there's going to be there's going to be a revelation of a Torah, like a new Torah is going to come out. So how does that show? By just saying, okay, look at my Galus life, I'm just going to add an Aleph into it and see what happens, Now, Aleph Zelorag, okay, so now we're going to explain what Aleph represents that gives the expression that's able to go so far to actually make that transformation. And then we're going to talk about how to actually do it yourself and to live at that level now, okay? So Aleph, what does word Aleph mean? There's three ways to explain it. Aleph comes from the word aluf, which means a ruler. Another one, Aleph, comes from the word Aleph chokhmah, Aleph bina, means to learn or to teach, okay? And then Aleph is the same letters as Pele. Pele means a wonder, okay? So these are the three levels. So therefore, in order to transform the Gola, your exile that you have, the Galus, and to put the Aleph into it, and to transform to Geula, you need really three stages, which are the three stages of Geula. Okay? So the first thing you got to do is reveal in the world, okay, that Hashem runs the world. He's the Aluf HaSha'olam. And this will bring to the Geula, okay, Sha'az Yada Kol Nivash Hashem Atzmahu Bara Oto. So now what does this do? When you are able to bring Hashem in your galus, you're saying Hashem is the master of this thing that orchestrated this thing, that has an effect on the world that people are able to realize that they're created by a God, right? Because what's the whole thing of Egypt is that I am the river, I created it. I'm the master over myself, right? The whole klipa of Paro and Mitzrayim is this feeling like you're in control. And then you are the owner of your own life, right? Like all the people, look at all the new age spiritual teachings we have today. What are they talking about? You are the controller of your reality. So really, this comes from Egypt, right? So really, you have to come and say, no, okay, we have things that are not clear, things that are difficult, whatever the thing is. And we have to say Hashem is in this thing, He's the one who created it. When we do that, it causes that it reflects in the world that all of the world can come to realize that there's Hashem that created them. So it really flips the aspect of Egypt, it turns it around. Okay, now the next level is to reveal the wonders that were in the Geula. As it says, just like you left Egypt, I will show you wonders, to reveal the wonders in the Torah, okay, in the Pnimis Torah that are concealed from you, that all of this will basically go into the deepest places, okay? Basically, so what happens is that the Torah itself will be shining to the person a whole new level within the Torah. Chassidus, it says, we have these three levels. The first level, we said, Aluf Olam, the master of the world. That represents fixing the aspect of the Malchus, okay? Which is God's Malchus in the world. The second thing is Ulfana V'Limud, learning, which is the aspect of Chochmah and Bina. That Shiyu L'mayla Ma'olam, that your Chochmah and Bina need to be refined, okay? Now, when we learn Torah today, it says that the learning of Torah that we do today is in order to refine our mind that's related to the midos. Okay, basically, let's explain what that means. And it says the Mishnah represents, the transformation of the midos, which is like the ending of the Sfirat the Omer is related to the Mishnah. Okay, why? Okay, let's say someone said, you broke my gas balloon. And the guy says, no, I didn't break it. Broke on its own, right? So everyone has their story, and now what comes out of it is there's an emotional thing behind it that needs to be corrected. And by having clarity in what the psak of the Mishnah is, then it gives you that clarity on what the true emotion needs to be expressed in that place, and it fixes your broken emotion. Maybe you think the guy messed you up, and you're like, whoa, what's wrong with this guy? You know what I mean? And then you realize, like, no, it wasn't like, that's not the halacha. So when you get clear in the Mishnah, it fixes the emotions, okay? Now, when you go on to the higher level of the Gemara, it's basically the reasons behind the emotions. So that's the idea of fixing your brain that's related to the world. So the first thing is, as you said, is the ending of the Malchus. The Malchus is basically the first step a person has to do in his life, and saying there's a Hashem that's created the life that I have, the problems that I have, the concealments I have. The second thing is, no, I have to fix the way I think about things. My svaras, my reasons for why this is like that and this is like that, okay? That needs to be transformed, okay? Now, the third thing is Pele. Pele is the Pnimis Chochmah. Pnimis Chochmah is the inner parts of wisdom that relate to Keter, that there's wondrous things happening, okay? And they're not even connected to the world, which basically means when a person goes into the secrets of the Torah and is digging deeper inside of it, and then he basically you're like, what world, what problem? Nothing really matters, because you basically saw how unbelievable the wonders of the Torah is. But what we're saying now is that all of these things are really connected to each other. That one thing will affect another thing. Okay, so it says like this. Now today, before Mashiach comes, we have to learn Torah in order to fulfill the mitzvahs and to know how to make the world holy, right? Because why do you have to learn Gemara? Why do you learn Shulchan Aruch? What's the pshat? You have to know how to do the mitzvahs. That's what you have to do. Now, when Mashiach comes, there's going to be another level of learning that you're going to learn in order to purify the mind beyond the connection to the world. So therefore, in the Geula, there's going to be a level of godliness that's higher completely in the world, the essence of godliness down in this world here. So from this we understand that everything that's going to be in Geula, even things that are very high level, they're hinted in the word Geula, that it has an extra aleph to it. We're going to see why. Now, meaning to say, okay, now practically what does that mean? The first level is, I want to do things l'shem shamayim. Okay, you're eating l'shem shamayim, you're learning l'shem shamayim, you're working l'shem shamayim. So he says it's not enough. Through that, you just say that God is the master of the world. That's the idea of fixing the level of Malchus. We talk about in the Sfet Omer. Fixing of the Malchus represents fixing the fact that Hashem runs the world. Okay? So now, the next thing is the following. Sorry, one second. Okay. Now, someone else coming in. Stuck up here. Hello, how are you? Okay, the next thing we're discussing is the following. So basically, it's the first thing is you want to fix the level of Malchus. Malchus means that you're fixing Hashem's Malchus. And Hashem's Malchus is showing that he runs the world. So meaning in your Galus itself and the details of the exile that you're living in, which basically what we said is the following, is that you want to be holy because Hashem's holy, right? So what does that mean? Is that Hashem put your soul into a body. In the body, there's limitations. Because there's limitations, therefore there's concealment. Because there's concealment, there's pain. Okay, and now all this thing was on purpose. Okay, so what are you supposed to do? How are you supposed to fix it? Number one, we said fixing the Malchus. Fixing the Malchus is that you have to do everything L'Shem Shemayim, and that by doing something L'Shem Shemayim, you're saying that Hashem is in that thing. Okay? So now you're coming to reveal that Hashem is in all the parts of your life. So they're saying that's step number one, okay? That's very good. You reveal that Hashem's in the galus of your life. You're able to fix the level of Malchus. Now, the next point is you have to fix a level of Chochmah and Bina. Okay, so it says you have to now reveal that Hashem is higher than the world, but connected to it. How do you do that? How do you go beyond the specifics of the limitations that you have? Is by learning Torah. Okay, like for learning regular Torah, you're learning how to do the mitzvahs, and that basically elevates you to this level that you're no longer, affected or a byproduct of the, the galus that you're in. You're able to kind of see it at a higher view. And then the highest level is in the pnimis of Torah, the inner parts of Torah, the secrets of the Torah. You have to reveal the wonders that are connected to the aspect called Pele. And that's the pnimis of Torah. And then through the pnimis of Torah, then you realize there's not anything even to talk about. So this stage is that a person has to go to basically come to his, inner geula that he needs to reach inside of himself. Okay? So now it says about Hashem, the Jewish people, in relation to the geula. It says in the pasuk, King David says, Odecha Hashem ki anafta bi. Okay, it says, I'm going to praise you, God, because you gave me pain. Or anafta also, it means that it's like when you take a staff and you hit me. Okay, so you're saying, I'm going to praise you, God, that you hurt me. Why galus is painful, okay? There's no such thing as no one has pain in galus. You're saying, why did God have to make it? They have to feel the pain. So when Mashiach comes, it says, I'm going to praise you because you pained me. Okay? Which means that Hashem got angry at me in galus. And then it says, Tashuva pecha. It says, you're going to stop being angry. V'tenachameni. You're going to bring me comfort, which is basically bring me the geula. So the question is, why are we praising that Hashem got angry at us? Okay? If the kavana is that we're saying thank you on the geula that comes afterwards, then it's not a complete acknowledgement. So we could have just said, Adif shemlechatchila lo yeh bichlal et hakas et galus. Just at the beginning, to begin with, don't be angry, don't make galus. Just bring me why do you have to go through all that? Okay, so that the idea is the following. Now we're saying that you're actually praising Hashem on the fact that he got angry at you, because specifically through the galus comes the elevation of the geula to the levels that are very high in the geula. That through that you're able to reveal the aleph, which basically the ultimate purpose and intent of why God put you in that specific exile that you're in. Az yeliten lohodot ala pelag gadol, and then you're going to come to actually say thank you to Hashem. It's a great wonder how the galus was so long. Okay, and that kidavka kach nitin lagia legilui. Through that, you're able to come to the inner parts of the Torah in the Geula. Basically, what that means is that Hashem made the system for you to get to such great places in God's understanding and spiritual levels. It's only through this thing they created that you're going through a certain pain. So when Mashiach comes, we're actually going to thank God for the pain in order to get to this high level of Pnimis of Torah. Okay, so it explains that actually Mashiach has all of these aspects also. Okay, so if anyone has any questions, feel free now. We'll just do a moment to take any shilas. Okay. Anyone have any questions over here?
Does it mean that you can reach the Gula without physically being there? I mean, can you do it in your own mind?
Yeah, well, it's basically, yeah, that's the thing. What we're saying is that you could reach a level where you're in Geula. By doing this process, you actually could stand in that level. That's what we're trying to say, is that you have to fix the Malchus, and then you got to fix the Chochmah and Bina, and then you got to fix the level of the Keter. And we're saying, like, we're going to see now, like, Mashiach is the same thing. He does all three levels, but really there's a path on how to do the three things yourself. Okay, so
Ron, I have a question, right?
yeah.
So what is, like, the personal Gula that you're talking about can only be so it's up to a certain point. In other words, if everybody could do it, then there wouldn't be the need for Gula. In other words, when you say personal Gula,
Yeah.
do you mean that you reached a level? Obviously, you can't say that a person's reached a level of perfection before the Gula because it's not Gula. So what does it really mean?
It means that you're in a state where everything's open, meaning to say that you're no longer limited by the limitations and pain that you experience in the galus by basically first fixing the malchus, as we said, and then fixing the chokhmah and bina, like the way you understand things. And through that, you're actually able to understand the kavana of the galus that you went through, and that actually, by going through that pain that you went through in the galus, it'll open up your mind to actually understand the wonders of the Torah. So literally, God put you there for that. So that's basically what it says, that why do we go to Mitzrayim? It was literally to come out with the Rechush Gadol, with the great wealth. The great wealth is not just physically, it's also spiritually. Literally the point of it was that the pain you go through was to come out on the other side with an expansion you never could imagine possible. That God had to set it up in such a way, or else it would not be possible, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, what you're saying is that the da'as, the knowledge that a person gets, is like it helps them understand, like this level of malchus, right? The whole point is to fix all these things so you own it, and then you have an understanding of what Hashem's trying to do, and then you're suffering less because your knowledge of what Hashem's trying to do with you is on such a high level that you've actually reached a personal geula where we're not bitter about anything that happens, and it's kind of like there's challenges, but at the end of the day, my das is on a level where I can withstand it and keep moving in a way that's like I'm owning it. I'm doing my mission.
Well,
Right?
it's even more than that. But, okay, so we're gonna say the first level is, a person's going through hard stuff and he has no idea what's going on and it's difficult. So he goes, you have to fix the malchus. So he'll be like, okay, there's Hashem in this thing. He designed it very specific, uniquely like this. It feels very difficult. It's very limited and all these different things. So God designed it like that. It's like, let me fix the malchus. So every time you're doing, Spirit to Omer, if you finish a week, you do a malchus aspect. So it fixes a level of that. So each time you're like, okay, that's what fixing the malchus is. Now, behind each of these emotional spheres which we have, there's actually a according to Kabbalah, if you learn the Rashash, whatever, the Arizal, he actually says that if let's say Chesed B'Chesed is not really Chesed B'Chesed, it's really related to Chokhmah also. He says it's just not in the Kabbalistic farm. It goes like a step further to explaining what's the source behind the midos. So basically, what happens is that you're actually fixing your moichin also, and the moichin you're fixing is to get to the level of Shavuot, and then on Shavuot you get the Torah, and the Torah is like the Keter. Okay, it's the highest level. But during the period of time that you're getting there, you're still learning, and the learning that you're doing in the middle, while you're fixing the midah, specifically the aspect of the malchus, right? Because each midah is like you have a week-long work of that midah until you get the malchus. The malchus is like you fix the whole thing. So now, when you do the malchus, the aspect is that you're able to see that Hashem is in that thing. That's like the ultimate level. But that's really just step one. We're like, okay, L'Shem Shemaim. I don't understand, but it's L'Shem Shemaim. The Hashem created it like that. Hashem made my life like this, very complicated, different things. Okay, you fix the malchus. Now, basically, once you fix the malchus to a certain degree, like there's a Hashem in the thing, okay, then you have to fix the Chokhmah Bina, means your understanding of it. Okay, now your understanding of it, as we said, that it has to do with that you get that the Torah's Chokhmah Bina is higher than the Egyptians. Okay, and then you're drawing that down into the world, right? Because we were in Egypt, so our level of understanding was like Egyptian. It's limitations, it's accordance with the world. Now you're putting Hashem into the picture, so you're changing it up. Now when you put Hashem, now you can understand things at a different level. That your understanding has an influence on your world. Okay, that's like step number 2. Like literally learning Gemara, Shulchan Aruch, it has an influence on the world that's under you, and that is the beginning of like your understanding of what's going on in your world, and in a level of where you could influence it by the Torah that you're learning. And now we're going to the third level, which is the Indian of Pele. The Pele is where you get that wondrous experience. You're like, oh my gosh, there's a Hashem that did that thing. And what is that thing that he did? Everything that just happened until now is a shock and a wonder, because that was the keys for me to get to the Pele, this wondrous thing, which is really the wonders of the Torah, that you're able to understand the depth of everything that was not open to you before. And that is basically where you're in a Geula state, where you're like, you kind of get all that now. So that's basically what the third level is in this thing, where like you're not even concerned about the world anymore. That literally, because number 1, Hashem's in it. Number 2, you're influencing over it. And number 3, now you actually transformed it to the point that the Egyptians are going to say, take this from me. Here you go. Like, meaning the whole Galus will transform on its head. That the things that were difficult, right? The Egyptians, keeping you in exile, they're going to be the ones giving you things against your will. That's what happens when you go through these stages. Okay, you understand the point?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so now there's another point. Is basically Mashiach. He has these 3 levels too. Okay, it says about in the Rambam that he comes from Beit David. He comes from the house of David. Okay, that he literally was a descendant of King David. That from when David HaMelech drawn down, he got the Keter of Malchus. Okay, he got the Keter of Malchus, and then he drew down the Malchus for his children, forever. Okay, so literally, it's kind of what we're saying now. How did David HaMelech get the Keter of Malchus? It's by David HaMelech, out of everyone else in the whole world, he has such a level to recognize that Hashem was controlling the world, that Hashem's in the world, right? Who's better than David HaMelech? So he literally got the Keter of Malchus by doing that. Now the Rambam says about him, number 1, he is from Beit David, and he also says that he's from the Zerah Shlomo, the seed of Shlomo HaMelech. Now, okay, Shlomo was the son of David. So what is the Rambam saying by adding that? Okay, anyone know? What's the implication? What was one of the main differences between David HaMelech's life and Shlomo's life?
Shlomo was the wisest man.
He was the wisest man. Definitely, that was a big part. What else? What
I
was
think it's
another?
because there's no blood on Shlomo's hands.
Exactly. There's no blood.
Ah,
We're gonna see why. Okay. Now, yeah, Shlomo comes from the word shalom. It was peace on the earth. Okay. How is it peace on the earth? We're gonna see in a second. David Melech's time.
that's when Israel was at its greatest time in
It was
history.
exactly. It was literally the highest level until Mashiach comes. David Melech's times there was wars. It says Dam lerov shafachta, that you spilled a lot of blood. David Melech, he killed a lot of people. Okay, now why was there so much peace? Because Shlomo had the highest level of chokhmah. Okay, meaning in addition to the fact that his malchus was on the most complete level. Okay. On top of that, his chokhmah was the highest level. Okay, but now it stuck out that Shlomo Melech was higher than all of the wisest people in the world, and higher than all the wise men of Egypt. Now, to the point that all of the goyim, the wise people of the goyim, they basically automatically nullify themselves because of the strength and the greatness of Shlomo Melech's wisdom. And he didn't have to fight it. It was just peace on the earth because his wisdom was so strong. Now, to the point that there was peace of all of the goyim, and they helped Shlomo Melech to refine the world. Okay? Now, this peace caused to having the Malchus of Shlomo be in a full, complete state. But with David HaMelech, there was, problems with the Malchus. People tried to fight him. Okay? But with Shlomo Melech, there was no issues on the Malchus, right? What does it say? When someone gets a certain Malchus, he gets appointed over Malchus. Then it says, so everyone's going to say, who is he to be in power? You know what I'm saying? Every leader, there's going to be someone who's going to want to, fight against him, right? Like we saw yesterday, they wanted to, they had an assassination attempt over there in America. Obviously, there's no way to stop people from hating. That's how it is. But Shlomo Melech, no, it didn't happen. Okay? Shlomo Melech, his malchus could have basically lasted forever. Okay? That the base of Mikdash Rishon would have basically been forever. But because we were not meritorious for this, and a couple of different things that were not good, the malchus split in two. Okay? Basically, they had a breakaway minion. Okay? And then the base of Mikdash was destroyed, and the second one was destroyed. So we're in Galus now, until Mashiach comes. That'll be complete like Shlomo's without an ending, right? So now, so what is the Ram? So from this we see the Ram explains that the house of David, the Mashiach is coming from the house of David and from the Zerah of Shlomo. To explain you that Mashiach, there's going to be an aspect called Malchus Mushlemet. His Malchus will be complete, and his Chochmah within the Malchus, will be in a complete way, and he's going to be even smarter than Shlomo Melech. The Gam Dagat Pele, and even the level called Pele, as we're explaining now, which is the Pnimius of the Chochmah, will be complete by Melech HaMashiach, that all of the secrets will be revealed to him. Okay, as we explained last week's Parsha in Mitzorah, that Mashiach is called the leper, because he's going through all the pains like everyone else, but the pains that he has at the lowest level of the being, this gives him the ability to go to the highest levels of having the Pele, the aspect of the Keter, in a complete sense. Okay? And he'll be a king, which is the Malchus, and he's going to be a Rav, a teacher, who's Chochmah, and he's going to teach the Pnimis of Torah, which is the Pele, the Pnimis of Chochmah. And the midos that he'll have will be complete, as it says, "V'nacha alav ruach Hashem." The ruach, the spirit of God will be on him. The ruach of Eitzon Gvura, Da'at, and Yirat Hashem. Okay, so we see that Mashiach has all these aspects. So now we ask, so what about us? The question that deals with this. How do we get the revelation of Mashiach? We have to be similar what's by Mashiach. Now that in every Jew there's a spark of that in the soul of Mashiach, as we see, Veitkayem Banu Mikush Ketuv. In Musaf we say it should be for us like it says, Nachalav Ruch Hashem, that the Spirit of God will descend upon us, which is basically Malchus, Midos, and Chochmah. Okay, we said what are there's three things we said is Malchus, Midos, and Chochmah. Okay, which means first saying that Hashem is in charge of your life. He put himself in all these details. That's the Malchus. The Midos is fixing your Midos, as we explained, and then there's Chochmah, the wisdom, which is like the Pele. We see Chochmah is really two different things. We said there's this Chochmah that's related to the Midos, and then there's the inner part of Chochmah, and that's the essence of it. Okay? This is what it says in the Mishnah in Pirkei Avos. Who is a wise person? That someone who learns from everybody. Who is a strong person? Someone who overpowers his Yetzer. Who is a rich person? Someone who's happy in his lot. Who is someone that's honored? Someone who honors others. So it says four different things in the Mishnah. Now there's four letters of Hashem's name, and they're connected to Chochmah, Bina, Midas, and Malchus. And this is what it says in the Mishnah. Chochmah is Chochmah. Gibor, strength, is Bina. Ashir, wealth, is Tiferet, which is Tiferet comes with Pe'er. Pe'er means that there's a certain beauty to it. And Mechubad, the aspect of honor, represents Malchus and Kavod. Okay, so really, this is what it says in the Mishnah. We have to have all these three things. Okay, so it says, since you have a godly soul, that's a piece of Hashem, you have to reveal it, and then when you reveal it, then you're going to have what Mashiach has. So basically, when you come and reveal these four things in a revealed way, then you actually create the shleimus of Hashem's Malchus through that. As it says, Kashem Shekise Malchus Rak Kasheyesh Bo Abraglaim. It says, when is the chair, the Malchus, revealed? When it has the four legs. Okay? So every Jewish people represents Bnei Malachim, or the sons of the kings. Okay, there's a Mishnah in Masechet Shabbos. It says, it discusses, are you allowed using rose oil on Shabbos? Okay, you know what rose oil is? Anyone knows what that is?
It's a scent, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like, like essential oils, right? Like things like that.
Yeah.
It says you have to rub it on your body on Shabbos.
It smells good.
Smells good, feels good, So the Mishnah says, look, most people don't have them, so you can't do it. Then Rabbi Shimon says, no, all the Jewish people are Bnei Malachim, so therefore they actually have it. So basically, there's a part of your soul that's connected to the Malchus, okay? And what we said is these four parts. Again, you have to be Chacham, you have to be strong, which is, being able to fight your Yetzer, as what it says. Wealthy, which means a Samech B'chelko, because it says, there's a Gemara, it says, who is rich? A Samech B'chelko, someone who's happy with his lot. Okay? So that is the aspect of wealth. And who is honored? Someone who honors others. So these four things are the four chairs, the four legs of the chair. So when you reveal these things, okay, then the Malchus of Hashem comes down, okay, because all the Jewish people could reveal it because you are Bnei Malachim, okay. Every Jew has a portion of a Torah of Hashem. Everyone could reach the Chokhmah within the Malchus and the completion of the Malchus itself. Okay, and then that causes the aspect of sitting on the chair, which means the head of the king, faces you and his legs go up. Okay, which is basically connecting yourself to godliness and the wonders that are higher than the world. Okay, that's the completion of the Malchus. Gets revealed on day of Shabbat. Okay, so that's where you actually get the aspect of the Pele, which you said is the aspect of Keter. And now we're going to see that's the Lag BaOmer, because it says the aspect of Pele that it should be imbued into the world is the Lag BaOmer. Lag BaOmer is the when Rashbi passed away. Also the Ramah, as we know. Rashbi revealed the Penimis of Torah. Okay, and then when he left the world, he revealed the Penimis the Penimis of the Penimis, the day he left. Right, because the part of the Zohar that was revealed that day was the highest part. And through writing the Sefer Torah, the Sefer of the Zohar, this was revealed to the Jewish people, okay, that we can understand this, which is similar to the wonders of the Torah when Mashiach comes. So Rashbi basically wanted to unite the Pnimis of Torah with the revealed part of the Torah, which is uniting the secrets of the Torah into the regular parts of the Torah that you can understand. Okay, as it says there about Rabbi Shimon that he says wherever the Jewish people went, the Shekhinah went with them. So it's the idea of you're supposed to take the depths of the Torah, the secrets of the Torah, and connect it literally to your life, into the deepest, to your galus, as the Rashbi said. Okay, that it should also go into the world. It says, Rashbi said about himself that I could make the whole world free from any judgment. Okay, through the Torah that he revealed. So really, a Lag BaOmer is the aspect of drawing down godly light, which is, we said, it's Hod Shebahod. Okay, Hod is the aspect of saying thank you to Hashem, even for the things that look difficult, as we explained, which is the aspect of Rashbi. Okay, that things that don't look good, okay, basically orot, fruim, like things that bother you, we said that it gets transformed on Lag BaOmer by revealing these high levels that calm down and actually give you the eitzah for your life that transform the things that you're in. So he says Rashbi revealed one level until the Arizal came, and it says now it's time to reveal this wisdom. Okay, after the Arizal, there came another revelation of Torah, which is basically the Baal Shem Tov, the Magid, and also all the Chabad Rebbeim specifically afterwards reveal the path of the Baal Shem Tov in a way that a person could really understand them in the depth of his understanding. Okay, as it says with the Rebbe Rayatz, until we have our generation here. Okay, and it says Maskila Eitana Ezerchi, that we have the aspect that the Torah on the highest level, which is the Pele, what we're explaining, comes and actually is able to shine down into the lowest levels that a person's in to transform the Torah. So what we learn from all of this is that we actually have to take action in the world to reveal that everything was from Hashem and that He is the ruler of the world, Aluf HaSha'olam. Okay, and adding in Torah learning, specifically in Pnimius of Torah, in Chassidus, that we can understand it, and that should spread out around us. Okay. Now, as it says, you hear it's on that when we bring the Aleph into the Gola, we're going to really bring the actual Geula together with all of the Batei Knesset and the Batei Midrash and the Sefer Torahs that we're writing, even the one we're writing now, to come to the land of Israel, and for the ones here to come to Yerushalayim, the Beis Hamikdash Shlishi, Migdash Hashem Konu Yodecha. So the bottom line is that we can actually reach these levels that a person has to dig inside of the Torah. It says you dig in it, everything is inside of it. First try to show that Hashem is running the world, and then learn the Torah in order to fulfill it, and then you come to a level, the third level is you're learning the secrets of Torah, and then the secrets of Torah should really shine down into all of the person's aspects of his galus and actually wash it away to be like Mashiach, really. So that's what the situation. Okay, so thank you very much. Happy everyone came here, and if any questions, feel free now.
Thank you. It was very good.
No problem.
Enjoyed it very much.
Great, amazing. Sure, no problem. Yeah, I invited Lou to come, but I don't know, maybe he's busy.